Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here reviewing Love After Lockup, Season 5. And we're on episode, 44? Y'all, I'm going to tell you something. This is pure foolishness. Pure foolishness. Is anybody with me that this season is pure foolishness? Now, all y'all know this is my first season ever watching Love After Lockup. So I don't know how this is supposed to go. But I'm telling you, this whole season, and even when I was doing Love After Lockup before the 90 days or whatever else, I've got to tell y'all, I'm so surprised. I'm really, really surprised because I was expecting to come in watching this Love After Lockup, watching people date prisoners. And I was just automatically thinking that the prisoners were going to be the ones that were taking advantage of the folks on the outside. Call it bias, call it, I was prejudge the prisoners, call it whatever you want, but I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've been educated. I have been purely educated because what I was saying last season was that these people on the outside look to control the prisoners. It's just continuing. Where are all my psychology, social workers, therapists, PhDs, masters in social work, masters in, you know what? I don't even know the field that studies this, recidivism, why prisoners go back to prison, how prisoners even get in the situations they're in, criminal justice. I have no idea. I never studied. Y'all know I'm an engineer. I wasn't in that side of campus. I wasn't taking them classes. I was taking physics and, calculus and all these other kind of things, engineering. This is what I was taking. But these behaviorals major, everybody in behavioral majors or who has who does work in this area, this right here is wild to me. The people on the outside, I'm going to go far and say that they're predators. Okay. I know that's strong language to use, but I think that the people on the outside are predators. I think they prey upon prisoners. Everyone's thinking that the people on the outside, that they're the victims and the prisoners are preying on them. No. These are people on the outside who have sought out these prisoners, preyed upon them, lured them in with money. If you really think about it, prisoners are on the inside, access to nothing, have no access to people, no access to money. These people, it's almost like a predator luring a kid with candy. They lured them with love, attention, and money. And it's all just a setup for when these prisoners get out, then the prisoners are indebted to them. I kind of understand why a lot of prisoners go back to prison because life outside of prison is turning out to be a lot harder for some of these people than it probably was in prison. Because these people on the outside, it's pure foolishness. And the first person I'm going to talk about is Bianca and Daniel. I've really been on Bianca. I know everyone's saying, oh, Bianca's young, she's immature. No. It's beyond that. I've always said that there was something sinister about Bianca. It's like an evil part of Bianca that she seeks to destroy. Not that she makes a couple of mistakes and that, hey, she made a wrong decision. No, Bianca actually seeks out to destroy. That's what I was telling you, even about if you look back at her accident, how when she had that car accident, but yet she blamed it all on the drunk driver lady, but she doesn't admit her part in it. She seeks to be involved in situations that will destroy, and then she absolves herself of it. She sought out Daniel because he was in jail for drunk driving. She sought that out. Now that he's out of prison, she's actually seeking to sabotage his sobriety. She's actually saying, no, I want a drink. You take a drink too. Okay. It is something very, very sinister and dark about Bianca. Very sinister and dark that she creates opportunities to destroy. And they're all of a sudden having these fights because what Bianca says is, where's my engagement ring? And Daniel was like, I just got out of prison 2 days ago. Did you expect a engagement ring on the first day out? How am I supposed to have an engagement ring for you so soon? And she said, yeah, that's what I expected. I've done a lot for you, Daniel. I've moved here from out of state. I've given you money while you're in prison, and I want to be paid back. I want to be paid back in almost a form of slavery. Get me coffee, do this. And what Daniel was saying was, I don't mind doing things for you, but the level at which you're asking for is almost like a dictating. You're dictating it. You're mandating it. And I don't think that Bianca got that difference. She's thinking, I've done all these things for you. What's wrong with you getting a cup of coffee for me? And I don't think she gets that getting her a cup of coffee isn't really the big issue. The big issue is pick up that off the floor. You're ordering me. You're ordering me almost as if you are my slave master. And just like I said before, Bianca's going to get pregnant. She's going to get pregnant if Daniel is so foolish to not put on a condom. Bianca will get pregnant because, like I said, Bianca seeks out to destroy. And Bianca's absolutely going to get pregnant and have a baby to further latch on to Daniel, and she will continually try to destroy him. And what she does is she uses her money to control him. That's what she uses, her money. So they're going back and forth. They're having this argument about coffee, still arguing over get me a cup of coffee from whole day ago. They're arguing over the fact that she sat up there in a bar and got drunk with the cousin. And Daniel starts to raise his voice. And so she says, don't you yell at me. Don't you dare yell at me. And she says, well, I don't want to be with you if you're going to start yelling at me. Now, like I said, does anyone want them yelling at them? No. But I probably would have been raising my voice on Bianca too. I probably would have raised my voice on Bianca because let me tell you, she's triggering. She's very, very triggering. And Daniel says to her, well, wait a minute. First, you want me to propose to you and give you a ring. But the minute I do something wrong, like yell at you, even when I shouldn't, you're ready to say that you want to throw the relationship away. Well, which is it, Bianca? Do you want to be married to me and force me to marry you and give you a ring right now? Or is it that you're so flighty that you're willing to walk out the relationship the minute I don't do what you want? There you go. That's really what it is, Daniel. She's trying to use different techniques to control Daniel. I'll leave if you don't do this. I'll do this if you don't do this. She's controlling. She's very, very controlling, and it's sinister. Like I said, there's something very, very dark on the inside of Bianca. It's just not that she's 23. I was 23. I can remember 23. I don't know why people think that as you get older, you don't remember things about yourself. You may not remember everything, but I remember my 23-year-old, and I'm going to tell you, I would have never had any of this behavior that Bianca is showing. Absolutely not. Daniel says she's on a power trip. They both are. But Bianca's power trip is what started it. And what Daniel's trying to do is he's trying to put his foot down. He's trying to draw a line for Bianca and give her boundaries and say, I already see you trying to control me, but I'm going to have to try to be a bit more firm and draw some boundaries with you. And let me tell you, it's going to test his sobriety. It's going to test. I don't know if Daniel's going to start drinking, if he's going to go back to prison, if he's going to leave Bianca, if Bianca's going to get pregnant, and then he's going to feel a further obligation to stay with her. I have no idea what's going to go on. But Daniel, you in trouble. You are in big, big trouble being with Bianca. Real big trouble being with Bianca. He did buy her a ring when he went to that little clothing store, and he bought one of those little fashion rings, but he hasn't given it to her yet. He says, I'm not giving it to her while she's sitting here actually demanding it for me. He says he probably wants to be on his own term. And at this point in time, he's like, what the heck is going on? What is it? She got some red flags. Red flags. When he met up with his cousin started telling him everything Bianca was talking about, saying, Daniel don't do no foreplay. All he does is want to stick it in. He ain't really loving me the way I want him to love me. And Daniel's hot saying, why would she be talking to you about these things? I said, the reason she's talking to him about these things, Daniel, is because she's sinister. She's very, very sinister. She's plotting. There's an evilness to Bianca. I'm telling you, I don't really call people evil, but there's an evilness to Bianca that's frightening. It's very, very frightening. Now, Daniel was calling out. He's saying, hey, I see some red flags with Bianca, but he don't seem to really be doing much about them. He's accurately pointing out all the red flags he sees. I'm like, yeah, Daniel, that's it. That's what she's got. She's got red flags. Why aren't you turning and walking away? But I think he is stuck with the money. I mean, that's a lot of power. Daniel doesn't have a job. He just got out of prison. And here's his woman saying, I'm paying for all this, so therefore I own you. I control you. So until Daniel gets a job, gets some of his own financial freedom, he's becoming a slave to Bianca. Just like Robert, his cousin, said, you know what? If you don't get along with her, you could be homeless the next day. She could put you out at any time and you could be homeless. So in one way, you complain to Daniel, talking about all the red flags. But in other ways, you bought and paid for. You are bought and paid for. I tell you, when they were sitting on the couch at one time, they decided they didn't want to keep arguing. They were going to make up. And they were a couple of feet apart. And so Bianca said, come on over here to my side and give me a hug and a kiss. Let's make up. Then Daniel was like, don't be ordering me again. No, you come over here. So then they sitting across from each other, y'all, talking about, no, you come over here and make up. No, you come over here to make up. Then finally they said, let's meet in the middle. Let's meet in the middle. And this is what this relationship is about. Control. It is about Bianca wanting control over Daniel. Daniel trying to put some safeguards around it and telling Bianca, you're going to have to do something too. And Bianca saying, well, I already did enough. I've been doing enough while you was in prison. I've been sending you money. I done moved over here. She got a long list of the things that she's done for Daniel. And Daniel was thinking that these things were being done for him out of the goodness of her heart. Nah, these were down payments and monthly payments. These were down payments and monthly payments on this slave trade. Because what Bianca is saying is, I paid a little bit on you every single month like a layaway plan, and now I own you. I own you. My layaway is paid off, and it's now time for you to start paying up, Daniel. I tell you, it is an absolute mess. Pure foolishness. Pure foolishness. And now we need to move on to the next foolish person. Once again, I really thought it was going to be the inmates. Now, Joey and Kimberly, we already know Joey out here, what's he doing? He's trying to get a job finally, Law. We saw that last episode. He's finally trying to get a job. But what I don't understand about Kimberly is, what world does she live in, y'all? Why are we watching Kimberly run around trying on wedding dresses when she's not even divorced? I never heard of no mess like this. We knew it was crazy for her to even get engaged to Joey, demanding a ring from Joey when she wasn't married. Now she's trying on dresses when she wasn't married. Then she's talking about buying a house with Joey. He ain't even got a job. Okay. So we're talking about having an engagement party, spending the money on that. She bought him a car. She's trying on wedding dresses. She's talking about she's still going to get married even though her divorce isn't even the final. She don't even have no attorney for her first divorce. And she had an engagement party. She wants a wedding. She wants to buy a house now. All this, and Kimberly makes $15 an hour. What the heck are we talking about, y'all? You making $15 an hour with 2 kids. She makes $15 an hour with 2 kids, talking about buying a house, talking about getting married, having a wedding, having engagement parties, buying a wedding dress. And she got 2 kids and $15 an hour, and Joe ain't even got no job. What's wrong with Kimberly? Like I said, these people preyed upon the inmates. They really did, because Kimberly has the story that when Joey was in high school, he was the hot commodity in high school. Everybody liked him. And he was dating Kimberly's cousin, Tatum, who she actually brings to shop for dresses. So Kimberly, you ain't got no other friends, relatives to go dress shopping for a wedding dress except Tatum, the one where when Joey was dating her in high school, you slept with Joey, and she's your cousin, and she was dating Joey. Joey and Tatum were boyfriend and girlfriend. Kimberly comes in, sleeps with Joey. Never tells Tatum until now, 15 years later. And then when Kimberly wants to go wedding shopping, it's Tatum who she wants to bring along to keep rubbing it in her face that, look, I stole your man back in high school and now I'm finally marrying him. Did she prey on Joey all this whole time? Once again, this is a lifelong quest of hers to capture Joey. I'm going to get him. And to the tune of the fact that now she's wondering what if one of her sons is the biological son of Joey, because she was even cheating on her own husband with Joey. And so now she doesn't know if Joey is the father of one of her children, and they're waiting on the DNA test results. You know that she done seen them DNA test results already. Them DNA test results have come back, and she ain't even trying to check no inbox on her email. She ain't trying to check it because she don't know. Because now what she's thinking is, what if he is the son of Joey? Then guess what? I'm going to lose the child support, and it can affect my divorce with my husband. The reason Kimberly probably ain't got no divorce from that real husband is because she's probably still on his health care. She's probably still on his health care, and she don't want to get no divorce yet because she's extracting something from that man, probably in the tune of child support for a child that may not even be his. Okay. And also, she's getting some other benefits for staying married to him legally. Because if they got divorced, maybe he would need to put the children on, keep his children on his health care, but maybe they would have to split health care costs. And Kimberly only makes $15 an hour. So why would she want to do that? But instead, she's over here trying to have this fabulous life as if she can afford this. She can't afford Joey. She bought a used car for Joey, rims and tires. Now she's talking about buying a house with Joey. Ugh. This is foolishness, y'all. This is pure foolishness. And once again, as much as I don't like Joey and the things that he's doing out here, when I compare the two, I'm still telling you, I still got a bigger problem with Kimberly. I got a bigger problem with her. I thought the people on the outside were supposed to have better sense than the inmates. This is not what it's turning out to be. This is not what it's turning out to be at all. And talk about lying. Kimberly's doing her own set of lying, a whole lot of lying. So she ain't even told Joey that the divorce is not really imminent. Joey over here thinking that the divorce is going to be over in a few more weeks. And Kimberly is saying, this divorce is stalled. No progress, nothing's been done, and more than likely she gonna have to hire an attorney. So another bill on her $15 an hour salary. How is Kimberly living like this, y'all? How is she living like this? And talk about money getting tight. We got to move on over to Teny and Rob because money's getting tight over there. I remember when we were watching Love Before Lockup or Love During Lockup, I was wondering, how is Rob making all this money? He kept saying he had a business that he ran with his brother. This is what we was told, that on the outside, he had a business that he was running with his brother. But now that he's out of prison, we don't see him working with no brother and no business. Now we getting the real truth. And the real truth is that Rob ain't had no job in 16 years. So now he got a new job on the outside inspecting trucks. And he's working with a friend of his because no one would give him a chance. No one would give the ex-con a chance working at a real job. And you know what? He had to pay some bills. So his friend gave him an opportunity, hired him pre-inspecting trucks. Okay, I like it. Rob. Looks like he's working a lot of hours trying to do what he's doing. He's saying the whole time he was in prison for those 18 years, he said he had to start in school as if he was back in kindergarten. And in 18 years, he was able to get his GED. Fabulous, fantastic, Rob. He got his GED. But we find out that all this time, the way that Rob's been making money in prison is gambling. It's the same thing we heard with True. And Rob must have been a fantastic gambler because he was making $6,000 to $7,000 a month in prison gambling. You've got to be kidding me. What kind of gambling ring is going on in prison that you got them gambling to the tune and making $6,000 to $7,000 in prison? Something wrong, y'all. Something is absolutely wrong with the entire system. I said there's something wrong with the internal prison system. There's something wrong with people not looking at how people get to prison, the people around them, because you're starting to see that the families of these prisoners could have driven them to prison. And when they come out of prison, these families aren't even safe places for these prisoners in a lot of cases. This is a big, big problem. I don't have no solutions. I don't have no solutions, y'all. None at all. I'm just here to talk to you about what I'm learning and how my mind is being blown on just how difficult of a problem criminal life, recidivism, family trauma, family dynamics, family dysfunction is all weaved together. How do you untangle it? How do you fix it? It's just, I don't know, y'all. But $67,000 he was making in prison. And Teny was out here living a fabulous life. No wonder that mama's so mad at Teny. Because if that mama knows that Rob was making $6,000 to $7,000 in prison, what she's saying is, you was making all this money in prison and you couldn't send me $500 a month. Oh my gosh, the entitlement. I still don't agree with the mother that she should have also been living off Rob while he's gambling in prison. I think Rob should have been saving more of that money. And maybe he has saved a little bit of it, but he ain't saved enough. Because now that he's been out of prison, and I think he's been out for a while now, so he probably did save some money, but he didn't save enough that now he's been out of prison. Because I think Rob has been out of prison almost close to a year now. So whatever he saved isn't enough to float them for a whole year. It probably got them through maybe a couple, 3 or 4 months while he came out until he could find a job. But now the money's running dry, and he's telling Teny, listen, anytime you want to spend over $100, you need to check with me. You need to check with me because money ain't what it used to be. And he also breaks the news to her. Like I said last week, Teny, you're going to have to get a job. Why the heck isn't Teny working? Why is she not working? Her kids, one of her daughters is darn near, 13, 14 years old. Okay, and then her son is in school all day. Teny need a job. She needs a whole job. And like I said, these people were in a lot of ways preying on these inmates. Because I think what Teny did, although Teny wasn't the woman sending money to the prisoner, right? She latched on to Rob. And what she gave up was her privacy. See, Teny was the one that let Rob film her all day long. All day long. That was the price she paid. All these other women were sending money. I'm going to buy and pay for you because I'm going to send you money every month. Now, that wasn't Teny's, what she was doing. She was like, I'm the opposite. I'm not going to send you any money. In fact, you're going to send me money. But what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you the benefit of having cameras all in my house, in every room in the house, so you could actually still feel connected to the outside world. And for that, you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me. And that's what Teny did. Teny was able to sit at home, be filmed for 18 years, or whatever long they've been together, 7 years, 8 years, in exchange for being with Rob. That's what she did. And now that he's out, and now that he's not gambling anymore, and now that he is being a truck inspector, money ain't what it used to be. So he tells Teny, you're going to have to get a job. You're going to have to get a job, and you're going to have to start checking with me before you before you spend any more than $100. And the minute he tells Teny she's going to have to get a job, she says, that working was stressful for me. Working was stressful for me when I had these 2 kids and I had to work. I don't know if I can do it. I was like, girl, Teny, you better stop it. You better stop it. Finally, she says, you know what? Yeah, I can go to work. I can get a job. I can get a job easy. He said, well, when can you start doing it? When can you start? And she's like, dang. Really, you want me to go out right away? He goes, yeah, right away. She goes, well, I can get a job in 2 weeks. Really? You can get a job in 2 weeks? She goes, yep, all I need to do is dust off my resume. All I need to do is dust off my resume. Now that I've been out of the job workforce now for, I don't know how long she's been out of the job workforce, but she says she can get a job in 2 weeks. And then she tells him, yeah, but I also bought this pass to the swim park for $250 for a family of 4. And Rob is like, what? I just said don't spend more than $100 without contacting me. And Teny's like, $250, that was a good deal. That was a good deal. And then they start showing all these fabulous clothes in her closet, all this designer. I don't know if it was Gucci or if it was Coach. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, Teny said, I like the finer things in life without a job. And Robbie said, I don't think you paying attention, Teny. This good life is over. This good life is over. And let me tell you, the disrespect is starting to show up. The disrespect is starting to show up in the household. And Teny saying, if I can get a job in 2 weeks, then you can cover up that tattoo on your arm. She said, I'll get a job in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, that tattoo you have in your on your arm of your ex-girlfriend, I want that covered up too. Teny said, let me tell you, you want to dish it out, Rob? I'm going to dish it out too. How about that? How about that? But Teny going to have to tell Rob, listen, if I get a job working full time, then I'm not going to be up here bringing those sandwiches to you and having lunch with you on your lunch break. You don't get it all, Rob. You don't get it all, Rob, because Rob, you were really benefiting from a stay-at-home wife where she could come up to your job every day, bring you lunch, sit and have lunch with you for an hour. I know it felt good. I know it felt really good that on your lunch break, your wife would come up and bring you lunch. I'm telling you, ladies, you ever want to earn some brownie points with your man, let me tell you what to do. It's a good old age trick. Is during his lunch break, if you can muster it, bring him lunch at his job in front of all his co-workers or workers or buddies or whatever you got. I'm telling you, you will earn so many points. So many points, because all the men will be looking at him to like, dang, your wife or your girlfriend brought you lunch. That's so nice. Let me tell you, things that go a long way. Bringing him lunch, packing his lunch with homemade food so that when everybody else is at lunch and they're heating up, or everybody else is at lunch and they're buying lunch out and your man is the one heating up some leftovers from dinner, everyone thinks that makes the man look like he's poor, like he can't afford no food. No, I'm telling you, he's considered a hero at work. When a man is at work and he's heating up leftovers, what people know is, wow. Everybody looks at him and go, wow, your wife sure is nice. Your wife sure is taking care of you. I'm telling you, ladies, if you never experienced it, try it out. Here's a little tip. Here is a little tip from Auntie. Send your man to lunch with some leftovers that he can heat up at work. I'm telling you, he will come home appraising you, because when he was at work, everybody looked at him and was admiring him. And Teny's up here bringing lunch to Rob. And Rob better understand that when Teny gets a job, she ain't gonna be able to have no, she's not gonna be able to do this. But Rob is probably like, so what? We need the money. We need the money. Rob is over here talking about, because everybody's counting my money. Even the kids know when he's getting paid. There's a problem when the kids know when they're getting paid, because the kids also know when they can start asking for something. Right? And to talk about somebody asking for something they shouldn't be asking for, Melissa, girl, Melissa. Another person who has a crazy past. Y'all let me know that Melissa kind of has the same story as Kim and Louie, in terms of Melissa really liked Louie back in the day when they were in high school. But Melissa, I guess Melissa is out of Louie's maybe socioeconomic bracket, but she really liked Louie. And now that they're hooked back up, now Melissa is still thinking of Louie as he was a guy in high school that I never could get in high school. But now that he's down his luck and he's coming out of prison, maybe I got a shot at him. So once again, I still believe that Melissa preyed on Louie. Hey, I couldn't get with you in high school, so what I'll do is I'll prey upon you while you're in prison, and now I'll capture you. And what I think what we see here is that in a lot of ways, Melissa still has a lot of insecurities with Louie, a whole lot of insecurities. And so what she's asking for is she's asking for material things to make her feel better. Plus, she's asking for material things so she can prove to her parents that Louie is reformed and he's good enough for her. But I don't even know if Melissa thinks she's good enough for Louie, because her jealousy is crazy. Really, really crazy. Louie done gone out here and spent $18,000 on an engagement ring, and he works for a pizza shop. And he's out here trying to hustle. He's out here trying to get clients. He's a personal trainer. And Melissa's mad. She's still mad. She's mad because he's got female clients. Female clients. Well, girl, don't no man want to be trained by Louie. That ain't how it works. If you gonna date a personal trainer, women, if you gonna date a personal trainer, you better get used to your man being around women. And if that's not your thing, then don't date no personal trainer. I would never date no personal trainer. So I'm not saying that was my rule. I would never date a personal trainer, because I'm just like Melissa. Hey, way too many women, and a lot of women date personal trainers because they want to be personally trained in the gym, and they also want to be personally trained at home in the bedroom. And it wasn't my thing either. I'm going to admit it. It's not my thing. I didn't like it. So I said, you know what? Let me stay away from personal trainers. But I'm not going to date no personal trainer and then start telling a personal trainer you can't have no clients. Then if you ain't got no clients, how he going to buy you an $18,000 2-carat diamond ring, Melissa? Melissa got issues too, y'all. She got issues. She even said that she has a history of sabotaging her relationships. Once she really starts liking a guy, Melissa said it about herself, that she starts arguments so that she can sabotage her own thing. Now, here you had Louie go out and buy her a ring, ask for her father's permission to marry her, which he got the father's permission. He comes home with pizza. Who knows? Probably trying to decide how he was going to propose to her. She's sitting in her bubble bath. He's like, "Ooh, good. Let me get in this bubble bath with you." She goes, this ain't for you. She's sitting in the bubble bath, drinking her own wine and champagne, relaxing because she done had a hard day at the post office. And he about to get in the bathtub. She goes, "This ain't for you. And why are you bringing me pizza?" She said, "We both over here working 6 jobs. Louie got the pizza job, and he's got, not pizza job. Yeah, he's working at the pizza shop. He's also doing personal training, videos, personal training, one-on-one. And then you said, I guess Melissa works at the post office. She must have another job. And she says, "We over here working 6 jobs, but what you bringing home for dinner is some pizza from your job." Then why the hell didn't you cook nothing, Melissa? Why didn't you cook? Like I said, these people expect these prisoners to come out and be bought and paid for. Bought and paid for. Because I don't understand, if you both got 6 jobs, Melissa, then if you don't want to eat pizza, why ain't no dinner cooked? You at home in the bathtub with a glass of wine. And I'm not saying you ain't worked hard. I'm not saying you're not tired enough that you didn't want to cook either. I actually can understand it. But I don't understand why you expect it from Louie. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand the high level of expectation from these people on the outside of the prisoners, unless they feel as if they've bought and paid for these prisoners. And when these prisoners come out, these prisoners owe them. They owe them. They owe them. This is the mentality that these people on the outside seem to have. It's really, really horrendous. It's really, really horrendous. Melissa running around talking about she feel like she's second in line to his work. Oh my goodness. And now she the one sitting around waiting for him to pay her attention. You see, what she said was, when he was in prison, I had all his attention. I wasn't competing with no one because I was the only one. But now that he's out of prison, I got to compete with the world for his attention. This is the control. This is why these women were attracted to these prisoners because they felt in a lot of ways, they felt like I'm actually the predator of the prisoners because these prisoners don't have access to a lot. So by me hooking up with a prisoner, I got their full undivided attention. And when they come out, I still want it. But I still want them to make money and take care of me, but I still want all their attention. I'm telling you, we thought that we had to protect the people on the outside from the prisoners, when really what we need to start doing is also looking at protecting some of the prisoners from the people on the outside. Because a lot of these people on the outside, they're predators. They are absolutely predators. Now Melissa's saying, I don't want to compete with no one else. Louie, I'd rather you go back to prison because then I didn't have to compete with no one else. Out here, I got to compete with a job. I got to compete with other women. All this. It's too much for them to handle. Too much for them to handle. And as we move on to the next one where it's too much to handle him is Britney and Kerok. Britney and Kerok. Too much to handle. Can't handle the real world. Britney is over here thinking that the reason why they can't go to Texas is because Texas only wants married couples. And when she ain't realizing, no, Texas is tired of taking in ex-felons and they really don't want to take in two of them at one time. They don't want to take two of them. They done had a bad plan, y'all. They done had a bad plan, and their plan was to plan this entire move to Texas without checking with their parole board. And now they're making bad decision after bad decision. And they made a bad decision to make this move to Texas, get an apartment, pay for an apartment, pay rent over there. But they didn't even get permission to move. And then they got a free government hotel. Then they said, we can't live in this free government hotel. It's too sleazy for us. So then they decide, okay, let me make another decision and go over here and live with this woman named Coffee. I don't know what her pronoun is. I'm gonna say she, but her pronoun could be he. That's all I'm saying. I have no idea. No disrespect. But I'm gonna use the pronoun she. Miss Coffee is over here saying, I'll let you stay here on an air mattress in my living room. And they gotta pay her how much they paying Miss Coffee? $350 a month. $350 a month to live on the air mattress in my living room with all these other knickknacks. Miss Coffee's living room was full of junk, and she's still charging them a $350 to sleep on the floor and on the air mattress, $350 a month. I guess it's a deal versus living in the motel room by the government for free with a curfew. Their curfew was 11 p.m. And they said, we can't live under these conditions. We can't live under these conditions. So instead of living in the hotel room for free, even though they said there were some crack addicts down the street, they want to go live on the air mattress in Miss Coffee's living room with all the other knickknacks for $350. And then they decide, we need to look at these bills because neither of them got a job. Britney ain't got no job and Kerok ain't got no job. No job, homeless, and beggars being choosy on where they're going to live. And then they start going over and they run around in this Mercedes. They're driving around in a Mercedes. They start running their bills down, talking about they're paying $1,400 a month rent in Houston, Texas, because that's where they was going to move. They got a phone bill that costs $267 a month. Why the hell do you have a $267 cell phone bill? Y'all better go on over there to T-Mobile for $50 a month. $50 a month on a family plan. Why the heck are you paying $267 a month on a cell phone bill? This don't make no sense, y'all. This is pure foolishness. Everybody, please tell me down in the comments, how much are you paying on your cell phone bill? And I'm going to tell you right now, our cell phone bill is not $267. It's not. It's not at all. I think we only paying like $130 with some extra lines for a couple of people. You know, still got a couple of people on the line that you know, people you carrying. I get it. Kids you carrying still. But it ain't $267 for two people. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And then, like I said, they're paying $350 for the air mattress in the knick-knack room. And then Britney's nails is $500 a month. Girl, you better go get you some press-ons for Target for $11 and just buy yourself some extra glue. I'm telling y'all, press-ons have come a long way. Go down to Target, get you some press-ons with the nice jewels, get you some extra glue, put them on. Maybe they'll last you a week, maybe they'll last you 2 weeks, and then go on and get you another one next week. That's about $50 a month for some new nails. This is crazy, y'all. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Where are the priorities, y'all? Where are the priorities? And then they come up with this kooky plan that says, you know what? I think Texas just don't want us because we're not married. So what we're going to do is we're going to elope, get married, and then we're going to tell Texas, now you got to take both of us because now we technically married. And she said, well, let me go down here and get a wedding dress for this elopement. I'm thinking, why you need a wedding dress for an elopement? A wedding dress for an elopement. So she goes to the bridal shop trying on bridal dresses with a train and a veil for an elopement. And says her budget is $600. $600? Girl, you better go down to Marshall's, Dress for Less, Burlington. What the heck is going on, y'all, here? What is the heck is going on? How is it that broke people are spending more and more than people with a job and money? How can it be that Britney and Kerok with no job, living off savings, can spend more money than I can, and I got a job? We got a dual income household. $600 for an elopement dress? Girl, you got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Listen, Britney, you better off buying a plane ticket, coming to LA, going down to the garment district where they sell all those dresses for all these fancy wedding dresses, and you can get you a nice elopement wedding dress for $200. A nice wedding dress, lace, everything all over for $200. They got so many of these seamstresses down here living in the garment district, pumping out them dresses. Pumping out those dresses. Come down to the garment district, go downtown LA. There's rows and rows and rows of these fancy wedding dresses that you can get for, I'm telling you, $200. $200. Trust me, people. Trust me. Finally, Britney's girlfriend steps in and says, girl, I don't know if this little kooky plan you got to get married and then force Texas to take you, if it's going to work. Before you do it, just like before you booked that apartment in Houston and you just assume you could go. Her friend is like, you guys make a whole lot of moves, assuming everybody else just going to do what you want. You better call your parole officer and make sure that if you get married, it's going to actually accomplish what you think it's going to accomplish. And Britney was like, okay, I'm going to call, because she said, right now you over here listening to Kerok or whatever. And this may not work out. So Britney goes there and calls her probation officer. And sure enough, her probation officer tells her, oh, this ain't no good plan. I would advise you don't do this. Because if you think that they're going to believe that some slam, thank you, ma'am, wedding, elopement is going to convince them that this is not on no sham marriage, you wrong. They're going to be like, we just denied you to come, and all of a sudden you pop up married. He's like, ooh, he said, in fact, it could work against you, because then what it tells the probation people is that you're still willing to engage in some level of fraud. We was already didn't want you to come because you was a bank robber or armed, maybe not a bank robber, but you was armed robbery. Now we find out you're still willing to engage in some level of fraud to defraud the government, and you think we just gonna go along with it. Yep. Yeah, that's the mentality. I can keep trying to finagle things to be in my favor. It's a mentality. I can cut corners. I can do whatever I want to do to make people behave and give me what I want. Even if it means pulling a gun on you. I want your money. Here's a gun. Give me your money. This is what it looks like. Cajoling, forcing people. It's a mentality that I don't have to follow rules. I don't have to do what other people say. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. And then when I do it, I need you to accept it. So a good thing that friend talked her into letting know, you better call your parole officer. You didn't call your parole officer when you paid for that apartment in Houston, but you better do it now and figure it all out. And that friend said, I don't even know why you listen to Kerok anyway, because he seemed like he's always trying to tell you what to do. And you always so firm with everybody else, but everything else you go along with whatever he's saying. Well, Kerok was just saying that, hey, he don't really want to leave Britney behind. So the only way he would go to Texas without her is if they got married, because Kerok is, afraid that Britney gonna get a new man. If I go to Houston without you and you can't never come, then you might get a new man. You might get a new man. Is Britney working, y'all? Somebody let me know. Does Britney have a job, or is Britney being supported 100% entirely by Kerok? Like I said, this is all pure foolishness. Just pure foolishness. And lastly, the last foolish couple is Justine and Michael sitting up here in front of the lawyer, fighting over who would get custody of the children if she dies during childbirth. It's pure foolishness that we're even sitting here talking about this. You already got 5 kids already. I don't even know why you're pregnant. You're pregnant and you're running around here trying to fight over who gets access to the children if you should die during childbirth, when you shouldn't even be here making this decision anyway. And you're fighting over, you want to leave your son to the oldest sister so that she can be responsible for raising the special needs child, even though it wasn't what her life was for. And what she's saying is, once again, what Justine is saying is, listen, Michael, I know you want to be in charge of the kids, but me, Justine, is not what I want. I would rather my daughter raise our special needs, my special needs son, who's her brother, even though the daughter says she doesn't want to do it. So another selfish move by Justine. This woman does not cease to amaze me that every decision she makes is made out of selfishness. She keeps saying that she's making decisions out of giving to someone, but they're all for her. So now sitting here in front of the lawyer, she has Michael, who is saying, I want to raise the boy if you were to die. This is what he wants. She has a daughter that has said, I really don't want to be in charge, even if it is my brother. So I don't want to be fully in charge of raising him because it's not what I want for my life. I'm 19 years old. You were the one that got pregnant. Why? You can get pregnant. If you pass away in childbirth, now all of a sudden I have to raise my brother who's special needs. I don't want that for my life. You have Justine who says, I don't care about what Michael wants, that he wants the kids. I don't care what my daughter wants, that she doesn't want to have that burden in her life. I'm still going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to put my daughter in charge of the special needs child. But yet this woman frames herself as a giver. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And she's sitting over here talking about how selfless she is, selfless, but she is one of the most selfish people I've ever seen. Selfish. Her daughter tried to tell her, why would you get pregnant again so soon? And she didn't have no answer. The answer was, because I wanted the child. Because me and Michael wanted the child. Well, you and Michael wanted the child, but now that you're about to possibly, put this will together, you don't want to give your children to Michael? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Michael says he feels disrespected. Well, you're here too, Michael. Once again, these two, foolishness. And then they're still fighting over, y'all, what's going to be the birth control method going forward. You still don't have Justine willing to get her tubes tied. You don't have Michael willing to get a vasectomy. Neither one. You still have Justine still talking about herself continuously over and over again. And she's not really worried about that childbirth is giving birth to the child when you could die. She still feels as if she's the one giving. No, you're taking away from other people. You're taking away from your existing children. You're leaving your children vulnerable for not having a mother. And what you're saying is, no, she's the giver because she will be more willing to die than let her unborn child or even born child die in giving birth. That's not being selfless. That's selfish. I don't know, y'all. This is, like I said, this is all just such pure foolishness. Pure foolishness. And it's just surprising that the people on the outside, not the people who went to prison, are more foolish and more demented in some of their mindset than even the prisoners are. It's an eye-opener. It is an eye-opener. But anyway, that's all I got, y'all. Please don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. And I will talk to y'all later. Okay, bye.